Welcome back to Wealth Dynasty. Thanks again for visiting. And we got a great episode today. Excited about this. And without further ado, let's take it away.
Okay, fantastic, Mark. Thank you. So what questions do you have for me today?
So you're not old, but you're getting up there, right? Depends on your definition of old. Okay. So let's imagine that you could go back in time to when you were 40
Okay.
or 50. Let's say 40 to start out. What would you do differently at the age 40 to prepare yourself for being a little bit better set up than where, you know, in your life with what you know now, going back 30 years, what would you do different?
Okay. Great question. Lots to unpack there. So let's just, at 40, my wife and I were living in the same home, and we had 6 children in the home. So we were busy. We were very involved in our religious organization, somewhat involved in the community, and working hard. So the first thing I think I would say to do differently is I would have given myself a little more intentional mental health time.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. That's
So when you get super busy,
yeah.
okay, and your time is all mapped out so that when you wake up, you got something to do, and you go to bed with things you just got done, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
You don't ever have time to get your mind right. If
Always
that makes
running.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, with 6 kids and a career and church or whatever responsibilities, that's a lot going on.
A lot of stress.
Still got to be a good husband.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot. Yeah.
So I would have taken more time to take care of myself so that I could do all those other things better and be more prepared for the future.
And what are some of those mental health strategies that you kind of you're implementing better now that you would have gone back in time and told yourself?
Well, one thing I do now, which I have the luxury of time to do, is riding my bike out in Everglades National Park. I get out in nature. I have plenty of time to just have my own thoughts.
Yeah.
I can listen to whatever music I want to listen to, or a podcast, or whatever I want to listen to.
Yeah. I
can also stop by the way and take a moment to just enjoy the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that helps me. And of course, I'm getting good exercise at the same time.
Definitely. That's huge. And that's really good. Very overlooked for your mental health.
Yeah.
The exercise is huge. Definitely.
Yeah. It was hard to find time to exercise back then.
Yeah.
And if I did, I was like intense trying to make up for stuff that I hadn't done.
Yeah. I got to do my, whole week worth of exercise in this 1 or 2 days.
Right. Or in 30 minutes,
30 minutes. Yeah. I got 2 days, 30 minutes each. That's it.
Right. So I would probably have taken more time for mental health. When I say mental health, I don't mean watching TV. That's not.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes your mind go blank a little bit or gets you out of your world, but it's not really fixing anything.
It's more of an escape. It's not like intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have had more intentional time. And I think that I would have been able to plan better, be more focused on what I actually did for the day.
Yeah.
Been able to be a better father, better husband, and things like that.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. That's incredible. Actually incredible that that's your very first thought when I ask you that.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard that from a lot of people. I think there's definitely everything's so stressful nowadays. You can't even turn on the news because your blood pressure goes up.
Right.
And that's, definitely the exercise, getting out in nature is incredible therapeutic opportunity. That's good.
I would have been more careful to cut out the negatives.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, like you said, TV, which I watch very little news right now. I do watch stories on television, but I don't watch the news. Because honestly, I don't want to get too political. I don't want to get political at all. It's just it's opinions, and it's what they want to feed.
Their take on what's happening.
Right.
Which,
So that's too political for this podcast. But nevertheless, I avoid those kind of stressors.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help me any. I don't get anything from it.
That's good.
So, but speaking financially, what would I have done differently?
Well, I think that actually ties in with the financials, because the mental health, really, there's a lot there, the mental health and staying on track of your financial situation and sticking to a plan. Like it kind of all works together. You have to have structure. I like that though.
Yeah.
So we got the mental health would be the first thing you would go and tell yourself 30 years ago. And then exercise is another thing. What are some other things I guess financially, what would you tell yourself 30 years ago?
Well, my oldest son was 15 then, approximately 14 or 15. And we lived reasonably well, but I would have financially, I would have focused more on a Roth IRA if it was available back then.
Yeah.
Or knowing now more about life insurance, I would have used that.
Yeah.
Because what turns out is that all the money I was putting into my 401k or qualified plan, which we thought, the concept is, oh, I'm making money now, so my tax bracket's higher than it will be when I retire.
Yeah.
Well, that's not always true. In fact, a lot of time it's not true.
Not true. Yeah.
You may be working. We had kids, so our tax deductions were big.
Yeah.
Our tax burden was small.
6 beautiful deductions.
That's right. Our tax burden was small. And so why was I putting money into qualified plans?
That is an incredible overlooked thought.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so why was I doing that?
Yeah.
Because now when I'm retired or close to retired,
You don't have any of those tax
I
deductions.
don't have those tax
Your
deductions.
house is paid off, so you don't have the interest from that. Like that's crazy.
So actually my tax burden is bigger now.
yeah.
So, and I've seen that happen over and over again with people I've spoken to throughout the years. So there's a big, I'm not going to call it a lie because that's a big, heavy word, but there's a misconception
Yeah.
that it's best to take these deductions while you're working and then have to pay the tax on the qualified money
While you're pulling it.
while you're pulling it out when you're retired. Not always true. Lots of times it's not true.
Yeah.
And so if it was available back then and I had the brains to do it, I would have poured the money, all the qualified money that I get for the 401k and all that kind of stuff, all the employer contributions and or my contributions at least, would have all gone to a Roth type of investment as opposed to
Or a LERP.
or LERP, or life insurance retirement plan type of investment, as opposed to putting into qualified money.
That's incredible.
Because now at the end of the road, start to take money out, it's going to have to be taxable. That's a negative.
Man.
And it hits you in so many different ways,
Yeah.
because if you have a big, if you're IRA rich and you have to take the money out, that may cause your Medicare Part B to be quite a bit more expensive.
Correct. And nobody
Just a big
thinks
shocker.
about
Nobody
that.
thought about it. I didn't
Nobody
think I was 40. I
Yeah,
wasn't thinking about that.
for sure. Wow. That's actually mind-blowing.
Yeah. I've seen it happen over and over again.
Yeah.
I remember sitting down with a client once who worked at Publix all his life as a manager, had got a nice income. He was doing well, but he really did a great job saving money. And Publix was quite generous in their plans. Okay. So he was, had over $1 million in his IRA. He was now facing a higher tax bracket by far than when he was working.
Yeah. You don't have any deductions at that point. You're like, this is so overlooked.
Yeah. And so
I think we just fall into the trap because they preach qualified accounts. Put your money here because you can save taxes now, but they don't tell you you're gonna have to pay way more, potentially way more later.
yeah, it doesn't happen in every case.
Yeah, for sure.
Enough cases, it's surprising.
That is scary.
Yeah.
That's an incredible bit of advice.
So if I could have done it better, I would have had more money in things that would create a low tax upon distribution, such as life insurance or Roth. Now, a lot of people now could do Roth 401k, which probably wasn't available back then.
Let's kind of break down, because there might be some people that are unfamiliar with those three options. So we have the regular traditional Roth, which is an IRA, but it has a cap depending on.
It has a cap, and you can only do it if you're making under a certain amount of money.
Under a certain amount of money.
Okay, and so lots of people, first of all, they're making under a certain amount of money. Maybe their expenses are so close to what they're earning that they can't even do it.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. So you don't have the money to even
don't have
put
the money
into
to
this.
put it in. Okay, that's probably accounts for 60 or 70% of the people that would otherwise want to do it.
Maybe more than that. Yeah.
And then, so it kind of cuts that out. So it's a pretty devious plan in a way, because not that many people can really take advantage of it, but you can do it in a 401k scenario if you're in a 401k that has a Roth option.
Okay, so a Roth 401k, but to do that, your employer would have to have.
They'd have to do that. The employer would have to have that as an option,
Well,
which doesn't have it all the time.
like they never tell you that option.
Right.
I mean, I remember being in corporate years ago, and you get like a small list of
Funds.
Yeah, I mean, this is before ETFs, this is before all that stuff, and so you could pick from. And in some, I was at one place, and they just said, if you plan on retiring, you're 25 or whatever, and you're going to retire at age 65. So this is what you need to put your money in.
Yeah.
It was like my only option.
Yeah. So let's just read what's a Roth IRA do. So the money goes in after tax. You paid your tax on the money before it goes in there.
But if you have like the kids and the interest on your property and you have all those deductions. So it's a good time to put the post-taxed money into a qualified.
Right. And now with the fairly large single deduction that everybody has.
Yeah, $31,500 this year.
Yeah, so it's fairly significant
for couples filing jointly.
It's pretty significant. So there's a lot of people that aren't in a high tax bracket.
Yeah,
they probably can't afford to do a Roth. Okay, but if they have a 401k option, that's a great way to go.
That's incredible.
But the Roth, what it does, of course, is it goes in after tax. It grows tax free. And then you can pull all the interest and all the basis out tax-free.
All the growth is tax
down the road. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. After 59 and a half.
But the amount that you can put in it's not like you're getting rich off of, $7 or $8 grand a year.
Well, in a Roth 401k, you can put quite a bit of money.
Yeah, but that's a game changer if that's an option. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other idea, of course, is you can use life insurance because with 401k, there's no death benefit.
There's no death benefit. So if you die the first year, you only have $7 grand in there.
Right, that's it.
$7 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can use life insurance, has the same tax implications, goes in after tax and grows tax deferred. And then you can access the basis on withdrawals, or you could take loans against the gains. And then there's still a death benefit down the road.
Plus the death benefit. So you're protected the whole time, plus the other benefits of that's incredible.
So if I had to do over again at 40, I probably would do more of that.
Yeah.
Then
drop the qualified and go in because that's a very, very interesting point of view.
I maximize my Roth contributions to whatever the employer would match.
Yeah.
Because you're getting free money.
Yeah. Why not get the match?
Okay, get the match.
But most of those are only like 3
above and beyond
or
that,
5%,
whatever they are, 3 or 4, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I would have used the life insurance because that's actually much freer and more useful tool.
A lot less restrictions on being able to access the money too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these qualified accounts, you can only take out for certain medical, bills. You could do it for a first-time home purchase. There's
more restrictions.
Yeah.
More restrictions. Yeah.
Now you get banged up on those taxes.
Yeah. So that's probably the number one thing I would change financially.
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't get it. I was listening to what everybody else said, put your money in the...
Well, they're still saying that. That's the crazy thing. That's still what's being preached.
The other thing you don't know is that what's the tax bracket going to be when you retire? You have no clue. There's big tax bracket creep, okay? Because of inflation, you have tax bracket creep.
Well, there's inflation, and then your deductions are gone.
Yeah.
And not only the tax part, but the other bit you were talking about, healthcare costs.
Right.
Like healthcare inflation has been way higher than regular inflation, and healthcare cost inflation is higher than regular. So,
so I had no idea back when I was 40 that my Medicare Part B could end up costing $400 or $500 a month for me and my spouse each.
That's a car note, and a nice car note. That's crazy.
It's $1,000. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay, and when you're living on Social Security or whatever else it is, that's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Okay, and so even though you may have more money because you have to qualify or you have to have certain income to have to pay that much, still, even without that, you're still paying $180 a month each at the lowest end for Medicare Part B. And so, it's that's a hidden tax that you're just not aware of.
Wow. And yeah. No, and financial, like generally when you hear these financial, gurus or financial, people, this is not even brought up, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might go from a high income and, that Medicare Part B expense, it's a two-year rolling situation. So you may have had a high income before you retired, and then it dropped down low, but you still got to pay that high Medicare Part B
2
for
years.
a couple of years.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, until it evens out.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's a shocker.
Yeah. That is a big surprise to your budget. Any change like that when you're on a fixed income.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. This is wisdom. This is wisdom right here. So financially, that's incredible. Those are great options. We've got the mental health, financial. What are some other things you could go back right now and talk to yourself 30 years ago as a 40-year-old?
That's a great question. I could maybe take a second to think about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, because those are the two things that pop into my mind right away.
Yeah.
Probably would have tried to be more careful or more attuned to potential tax deductions. In other words, because I've always sort of had my own business in a way, all right, I could have done better in terms of taking advantage of that business to
get more deductions. Okay.
And I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know how. Yeah. So, and I still don't know how.
Yeah.
So I would say, get with a tax advisor on that sort of thing, a CPA or some type
somebody that is very
enrolled agent,
experienced.
somebody that's experienced at that. They can help you.
That's good.
I know that, a lot of businesses take big deductions for pickup trucks and stuff like that.
Vehicles,
stuff like that. But I would try to learn more about that and try to work at the edges more if that makes any sense. In other words, try to figure out small things that are available that allow you to take a bigger deduction or save money.
Yeah.
And I'll say this goes at any age. Okay. As a financial advisor, I met with people of all walks of life. I remember distinctly meeting with one person who really had a very small income. Maybe it was $30,000 a year, something like that. And however, they had no debt. Their expenses were minimal and they had some savings. They were very content and happy. In other words, they had low stress in their lives.
Very low stress.
And there was a lot of happiness. Okay. I contrast that to other clients I worked with. I can think of a doctor in particular who back in the 80s was making $500,000 a year, which is a nice high income back then.
Incredible. Yeah.
Plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
Doing extremely well. And he had some disability insurance with me, but he had 2 daughters, wife and 2 daughters, great people, but nevertheless, he spent a lot of money in a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So he spent more. He always spent more than he had. Every single year, he spent more than he had.
Wow.
Okay. And
you're always playing catch up and picking up shifts and doing extra work that you have
he wasn't even doing that. He just, lived at a level that was really beyond his income. And as a result, he was constantly stressed. And even though he had a good life, you could tell there was stress in his life. Okay. He was worried about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And eventually he was out riding a dirt bike on vacation, crashed, busted up his hands, and became disabled.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But fortunately, he had disability insurance. But
that's crazy, bro.
But it caused all kinds of stress in the family. And
Dr. Strange.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, he was a wonderful.
No, for sure.
Really super nice person.
As a reference to Marvel.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But he was a super nice man, but nevertheless lived in a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And I know another doctor friend of mine who never saved for retirement. Okay. High income, big practice, spent all his money all the time.
What are they banking on? Like, what is your plan here?
There was no plan ever.
That's scary.
Okay. There's never, ever a plan.
Yeah.
And so he's my age, still working every day, hard. Okay. And his kids are all grown up now. But anyways, I feel a little bad for him, even though he loves to work. I love to work.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, for sure. That's right.
So I love to work. I love to do things, but he loves to work. But nevertheless, I mean, he could have a little less stress in his life.
That's nice. Yeah. I mean, at this point, you don't have to get to work before 10 if you don't want to. You go out in the Everglades until whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get that.
Doesn't get that. That's
at all.
That's
okay.
tough. That's tough, man.
So
lack of planning.
Yeah. And then I helped him many times. I really helped as hard as I could. But he had lots of life insurance, but he ended up always using the cash value to pay off taxes. Okay, because so every year we build up some cash value that end up borrowing out of it to pay tax.
Pay the taxes, right?
At least he had that. Okay, sure. At least he had that.
And the insurance in case.
Yeah, but it just became too much,
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's some incredible wisdom. thank you all today for being with us. This was actually like this episode right here is crazy. It's going to change some minds. It's going to make you think about things you never thought of. And I hope that was informational. I hope you guys, if you have any questions about any of the concepts we talked about, feel free to reach out, put a comment below. Our website, all of our information is here in the bio. And thanks for being with us again today. And man, that just really puts a new perspective on what you should be thinking about at different points in your life. So thanks again, Kurt.
Thank you, Mark.
See you guys
Appreciate you.
next time.